Yesterday, I was watching a video from Better Bachelor, a man of spirit content creator, you know, a person that I respect and listen to him oftentimes because he doesn't just post content that's for the red pill community in regard to men. Exposing female nature, and that is the corruption and toxic female nature. If you don't know what I'm talking about, catch the last video I just uploaded today. And he doesn't just post videos about that anymore. He has a locals channel called betterbachelor.locals.com. Definitely go ahead and subscribe to his YouTube channel, but also is subscribe. Go ahead and add yourself to his locals channel, because he posts a lot more content that YouTube deems offensive or is taboo to talk about per se, like the one I'm about to talk about right now. In this video yesterday that Better Bachelor posted, he was hot. And I myself included. Granted, he was fuming a lot more than me, but this plays on questions that I've had as a former service member, as a veteran of the United States Navy. I've ever since it's been I've been out of service since October 2010, so over 12 years, and I've had questions. Definitely, I've had questions. I've had my what's the word? Restraint, I guess. I don't know if that's the right word for it. About the point of war, because I was in the military. I was in the United States military for 8 years. So yeah, what's the point of war? Beforehand, I wasn't really considering it. I was just, even though I joined in 2002, and I was going through military entrance program in Atlanta, Georgia, in late 2001, November 2001, and this is this was immediately after September 11th went down, but lo and behold, that actually was not my motivation to join. I just needed to kind of get out the house, and I did not want to go to college, because I didn't want to, even though my mother was going to pay for it, she kept saying she was going to pay for it. I didn't want her to do that. I didn't want to put that financial burden on her. It is a financial burden. College is a scam. College is a scam, by the way. I did not want to put that burden on her, as well as I knew that military would pay for my college. So fast forward, like I said, it's a couple months, September, October, November. It was not my motivation to join. It actually was not even on my radar at the time to join. But now that I start thinking about things again, it's been 12 years since I was in the service, and I remember the song "War." That came out right around time of the Vietnam conflict. It's called a conflict. Some people call it a war, whatever you want. Tomato, tomatoes. It's a matter of semantics, I guess. But it's armed conflict, the Vietnam conflict. And I forget the band. Please, somebody in the comment section, please let me know. I forget the band who made the song "War." Maybe I should have looked it up before I started this video. And in that, a lot of people know, if they don't know the words, they know the chorus. War, good God, what is it good for? Absolutely nothing. Muhammad Ali, the boxer, Muhammad Ali, Cassius Clay, he became infamous early on in his career for being a draft dodger. I posted on my Facebook page about that if you are a draft dodger, that the United States would deem it as a criminal offense. You'll be thrown in jail. I forget how long exactly, and I think there's a $250,000 fine, $250K, that I don't have. And maybe he had it. I doubt it. At that time, his career was still in its infancy, pretty much. So, $250,000 fine, and I think a year in prison, or either or. But what is it good for? I recalled in March of 2022 that there was an offer for a meeting by Vladimir Putin to discuss a peace agreement. Yeah, more than likely, yeah, between Ukraine, which is President Zelensky, and those two were going to have a peace. We're going to have an agreement, or we're going to have a meeting, and that meeting was rejected. This was in March 2022, so just a matter of 11 months ago. But still in the infancy of this conflict between Ukraine and Russia. Why do I bring that up? Because he is sacrificing men, and also in that video, a better bastard, I watched a drone, likely from Russia, drop what's been decided or understood is more likely a chemical attack. It dropped a chemical, dare I say, bomb. I don't know. I know these words aren't YouTube friendly, but whatever. It dropped a chemical bomb on two men that were hiding in an icy, cold, in a ice frozen over river. Well, it wasn't frozen over, but there were two men hiding in a river, and the river was just bone chilling, frigid temperatures. And when it dropped in there, one man, I believe he escaped, but another man who took the brunt of it, of the chemical, I saw him thrashing in the water, and it wasn't a type of, I'm trying to get out the water. I'm trying to get my head above the water and get out the water, and I guess run around, whatever, to try and get some clean air in his lungs. He was thrashing around in the water, but his head was not coming up, which means that he was having a severe muscle spasm, his muscles were just going out way haywire. So whatever that chemical attack did, it just shut everything down, caused everything to go haywire, and after about 15 seconds of fighting, that was it. We don't know the actual number. Joker, better bastard, he projected the numbers probably about 500,000 between Russian casualties and Ukrainian casualties. People in Ukraine, civilians, are being attacked. Yes, this is a war crime. Many war crimes committed by Vladimir Putin. He doesn't care. People being sacrificed left and right because he declined an offer for a peace deal. Because again, this is back in March, and it was reported in September by our news sources. Why is that? There's also a lot of human rights violations going on currently in China that is never covered by our news sources. Why is that? There is also human rights violations, modern day slavery. Yes, just like in the 1800s, what people love to, people my ethnicity, my skin color, no, and then the systematic this and systematic that. Yeah, it's still going on in the Middle East to this day. In North Africa, that's what they're fighting over in Sudan. It's a different type of conflict, which is genocide, guerrilla warfare leading to genocide between the Muslims and the Christians in Central African countries, North African countries, and Somalia. What's the ones out there? Oh, Sudan broke up because of this. There's now North Sudan and South Sudan. It's also going on in Morocco and Western Sahara, which are trying to split. Western is trying to split away from it, but they don't want them to do it. Morocco doesn't want them to do it. The Bedouins of North Africa. And in his video reminded me of 1 Samuel chapter 8. So feel free to read along with me. The warning of the prophet Samuel when the people, the Israelites, demanded a king. They didn't want that spiritual representation anymore. That was the Most High, and he was speaking through his prophets. This has been like that for so long. speaking through his prophets, and then they rule from Moses. Now it's Samuel. Chapter 8, verse 10 of 1 Samuel. These will be the ways of the king who will reign over you. He will take your sons and appoint them to his chariots, and to be his horsemen to run before his chariots. He will appoint for himself commanders of thousands and commanders of fifties, and some to plow his ground, and some to reap his harvest. Note this: he will make his implements of war and the equipment of his chariots. He will take your daughters to be perfumers and bakers. Don't overlook that, by the way. Those last 2 points. He will take your daughters to be perfumers and bakers. He will take the best of your fields and vineyards and olive orchards and give them to his courtiers. It continues on in verse 18. In fact, the kings will be so rapacious that eventually the people will cry out to Yahuwah to save them from the kings. Oh, Adonai, please save us. But they will ask. And even in times where there might be a quote-unquote good king, man, they're going to be, and as it says in another part, they will say peace, peace, but there is no peace. There's no peace. It's like the eye of the hurricane, the calm before the storm. We had the conflicts, the Crusaders. I think there were 4 Crusades, right? There's the Spanish Inquisition. There's war and conflict pretty much every month, and it going on somewhere globally, whether it be India and Sri Lanka, or India and China, over in the Kashmir region, or Pakistan and India. Well, actually, Pakistan and India is fighting over Kashmir right now. Would be something going on in the Middle East, Eastern Europe, between Russia and Ukraine, when Yugoslavia, did I pronounce it wrong? When that country broke up into like a dozen different smaller countries. But the conflict between Christians and Muslims, something. Or even in Africa, tribal warfare. There's always conflict going on in this world. And I just think about, again, that passage from 1 Samuel chapter 8. The reason why is because the people have rejected the Most High. Said, they have not rejected you. They have rejected me as the king appointed over them. They didn't want that spiritual headship. Instead, they wanted earthly representation, which is a finite man. Whereas in another part, Peter wrote that holy men of the Most High spoke. They were his mouthpiece. But it's nowadays is that what's been going on for so long. Again, what I read from the warning of Samuel is that they want a finite man who he might be really, really good, like Charles Spurgeon, the quote from Charles Spurgeon. The difference between discernment is not knowing the difference between right and wrong. It's knowing the difference between right and almost right. So there may be a king who is almost right. He gets 90% of everything right, but yet that 10% will still be there, will still be present, and then his successor will have 20% that he gets wrong, and then his successor maybe gets 40% of things wrong, but the people overlook it though. Like, oh, it's all right, because he still does so many great things. He's prison reform, and he did things for to help the poor. He got the poor off the streets, and But he has a past where he was, beating up women, or he might have touched children, or he might go off the cuff and say something that's a little shaky, but we're going to overlook that because he still does good things for for small business owners and this and that and this and that. and then his successor will be worse than him. Then his successor will be worse than him. Then on and on and on. It's the snowball effect. It's a snowball effect. But the more that people continue to turn a blind eye to these things and just go ahead and say, oh, it ain't so bad. It ain't so bad. The next guy, oh, he ain't so bad. Oh, the next guy, oh, he ain't so bad. Eventually, it will be so bad that the people will cry out, Adonai, Adonai, please save us. And he will say, depart from me, you curse, you workers of iniquity. I never knew you. Until next time.